Alright, these coins are coiling up. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name is Neil. We'll keep technical analysis short and sweet. So tornado I was talking about for the past month, we got in around $7.50. It's currently around $9.70. It's actually touched this rejection line about 6 times now, so it's getting very weak. And we're getting a lot more support on the upward trend line, as well as holding very nicely above the 200 EMA. The volume is also picking up. We're getting 2 green candles here, and the RSI is right around the 50% mark. It is currently $9.73, but an all-time high of around $456. So if you have 10 bucks and want to turn it into half a grand, this is the opportunity. As Tornado Cash washes all currencies, majority is Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin is pushing around 108,000, if that does hold above 108,000, the next move up will be pushing up to around 120,000 before doing a little bit of consolidation and a further move up. But with that being said, we're going to look over at XYO. XYO is still forming in the downward trend line and the channel. It is starting to get a little bit of support around the 0.008 cents. And it is also forming a cup and handle pattern in the daily chart with an all-time high of, I believe, over 7 cents. And it is currently at 0.008, which is massive potential profit if it does hold above this black trend line that is moving upwards. We could see that potentially forming within a diamond pattern, and we just need to break this downward trend line before pushing back up to the fair value gap in between the 2 dotted red lines. The 618 retracement is around 0.1 cents, and just with that retracement from the 0.008 is around 70 to 80% increase in profit. It is also oversold on the RSI, keeping that in mind. Now looking over into Compound. Compound had that major push up, major rejection. It is trying to break this downward trend line right here. And when we remove everything, we can see it is underneath the 200 EMA. But again, look at the volume. The volume's getting very strong. A lot of people are buying around the $40 mark. And also the all-time high for Compound is well over $700, about $1,000. So if you have $40 and want to turn it into $1,000, Compound is definitely a very good bet. Once we push over that 200 EMA and hold, the next stop would be around 141. And then beyond that, the next resistance around 170 and 400 being the next. So Compound is definitely something to keep an eye on, as it is not getting very much cheaper. It's not decreasing heavily in price. Keeping in mind that Bitcoin is holding steady around 108,000. Moving over to Toshi. It's a meme coin, definitely not the most, financial bet for any coin to be investing in. But it did break that downward trend, and the wedge, like we saw with XCN, it touched it, used it as support. And if we can see this hold as support, maybe even potentially retouch to confirm that it is strong support, we can start seeing it push back up to 0.0014 and the 618 being 0.0015. It does have a very long way to go, as it is Coinbase's meme coin, but it is in consolidation, as well as a lot of the other rest of the market. Moving over to QNT. QNT is holding very nicely. It touched the support downward trend line, pushed right back over it above the 200 EMA. The volume is decreasing, the price is increasing, which is also known as divergence, and it hit the 618 exactly where we expected it to, around 110. Get a little consolidation. We could use this black upward trend line as support as well, touching that and moving back up towards around 150, 160 being the next stop. But QNT has potential to hit around 1,000 to 1,500 or higher, and it is currently only at 107, and as well as the volume is picking up exponentially. It is decreasing in volume as well as increasing in price, just keeping that in mind. XRP, going to be the new global currency. inverse head and shoulders still playing out. It's still in consolidation. It's riding out through June, moving into July, where they start having lawsuits ending, and it is holding above the 200 EMA. It's also looking pretty bullish. And any news on XRP? Not a whole bunch of news, but as you can see, it could be hitting around $20 to $30 for the next move up. It is currently only at $2.29 and filling out the inverse head and shoulders pattern. The last one we're bringing in for this is GRT. Is at an absolute low, and it is holding support on this upward trend line. It is below the 200 EMA, which is not looking the best. We would want to see it push over the 10-cent mark and hold over that 200 EMA like we saw back in November 14th and 15th. Once it held over the 200 EMA, it had a major push upwards. The next stop that this could be potentially hitting once it breaks that is around 150% increase, and beyond that there is a long way to go for GRT, as its all-time high is way up here around $2.70, currently at 8 cents. That's it for today, and good luck. Have fun with it.